You are a loser.
In a dimly lit courtroom, tension hangs heavy in the air. The woman at the center of it all stands with quiet dignity, clutching the papers that hold her fate. Her ex-husband and his mistress, seated nearby, exchange smug glances, their laughter echoing softly, filled with arrogance and disdain. The woman, clad in a simple cardigan and skirt, stands as a stark contrast to the polished veneer of those who mock her. Yet beneath her unassuming exterior lies an unyielding resolve. She is poised on the brink of revelation, ready to unveil a truth that will upend their world and redefine hers. Before the truth is revealed, pause and tell us in the comments. Where are you watching from today? And do you believe revenge is best served loudly or in silence when no one expects it? If you love powerful courtroom stories where underestimation turns into triumph, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the moment everything changes. As the judge calls the proceedings to order, the courtroom transforms into a stage for a drama of unexpected proportions. Her ex-husband's attorney rises, painting her as a destitute ex-wife, desperate for alimony. The mocking eyes of her former partner and his lover bore into her, their confidence in her downfall unwavering. But beneath her calm facade, she harbors a secret that will soon shatter their illusions. Years of deceit and emotional turmoil have led to this pivotal moment. The woman, underestimated and ridiculed, is about to demonstrate that appearances can be deceiving. Her journey has been one of quiet strength and meticulous planning. She has crafted an empire in the shadows, her intellect and determination, setting the stage for a dramatic reversal of fortunes. As the court session unfolds, her attorney steps forward, his voice steady and commanding. The atmosphere shifts as he presents irrefutable evidence of her hidden wealth and strategic brilliance. Shock ripples through the room as the realization dawns on her ex-husband and his mistress. She has quietly acquired his company, turning the tables with a single, decisive move. Panic and disbelief etch themselves onto their faces as the woman reveals not only her financial triumph, but also the web of deceit her ex-husband had woven. He scrambles to introduce a secret dossier, a last-ditch attempt to reclaim control, but she is prepared. With unwavering confidence, she unveils her own counter-dossier, exposing his fraudulent activities and neutralizing his threat. The courtroom buzzes with whispered disbelief, and the judge's gaze is unflinching as he peruses the damning evidence. The woman's calculated strike not only reclaims her dignity, but leaves her adversaries in ruins. Thesis, her moment of redemption, a powerful declaration of self-worth that leaves the courtroom stunned and her ex-husband's reputation in tatters. Yet, the drama extends beyond the courtroom walls. In the opulence of a high-profile gala, she prepares her final act of retribution. Amidst the glittering guests, she orchestrates a revelation that will cement her victory and expose the deceit of those who sought to undermine her. As digital evidence of corporate espionage unravels in the public eye, those who once mocked her find themselves at the mercy of her strategic brilliance. From the depths of betrayal, she has risen a formidable force, her narrative rewritten from victim to victor. Her story, one of resilience and intelligence, serves as a testament to her unyielding spirit and the transformative power of truth. As she steps out of the courtroom, the world sees her for who she truly is, a woman of unparalleled strength, ready to forge a new path free from the shadows of her past. As she stepped out of the courtroom, the cool air brushed against her skin, a stark contrast to the heated tension that had filled the room moments ago. Her heart still raced, Yet there was a newfound calmness within her, a quiet triumph that belied the storm she had just unleashed. The whispers from the courtroom echoed in her mind, but she remained focused, her thoughts shifting to the journey that had brought her to this pivotal moment. Years ago, when betrayal had shattered her world, she had resolved to rebuild herself from the ground up. Her path had not been easy. It was one fraught with sleepless nights and relentless determination. In the guise of a struggling ex-wife, she had meticulously crafted a new identity, one that allowed her to maneuver through society's expectations unnoticed. Her unassuming appearance had become her greatest ally, enabling her to weave a web of innovation and strategy without drawing undue attention. She had always possessed a knack for technology, a gift she had nurtured since childhood. It was this passion that had fueled the creation of her tech startup, a company born in the shadows of her personal turmoil. She had started small, a single idea slowly blossoming into a full-fledged enterprise. Her vision was sharp, her moves calculated. She understood the power of anonymity, using it to her advantage as she quietly amassed wealth through offshore accounts and shrewd investments. Through her strategic brilliance, she had built an empire piece by piece, while the world remained oblivious to her true capabilities. Every decision, every calculated risk had been a step closer to today, where she stood not as a victim, but as a force to be reckoned with. Her once muted voice now echoed with authority, and her story was far from over. Inside the courtroom, her attorney had been instrumental, his voice unwavering as he presented the irrefutable evidence of her acquisition of Carter Enterprises. The revelation had been like a thunderclap, reverberating through the air, leaving her ex-husband, David, and his mistress, Lisa, in stunned disbelief. Emily's ex had always prided himself on being the smarter, more cunning player. Yet, he had never seen her coming, never anticipated that the woman he had dismissed could have risen to such heights. The courtroom had been a symphony of gasps and murmurs as the realization of her true financial status began to dawn on David and Lisa. Their confident facade crumbled, replaced by a desperate attempt to grasp at the remnants of their arrogance. They had underestimated her, and now they stood on the precipice of their downfall, teetering under the weight of their own deceit. Emily's presence in the courtroom had been a masterclass in poise and dignity. She had not needed to raise her voice or gloat in her triumph. The truth had spoken volumes on her behalf. Her attorney's steady hand had guided them through the intricacies of her financial prowess, each revelation a carefully placed blow that dismantled the lies her ex-husband had so carefully constructed. David had tried to counter with a secret dossier, a final gambit to reclaim control, but she had been prepared. Her counter dossier a testament to her foresight and preparation. It exposed his fraudulent activities, neutralizing his threat and sealing his fate. The judge's gaze had been unflinching, the damning evidence speaking for itself. The courtroom's atmosphere had shifted, the power dynamic irrevocably altered as Emily emerged victorious. The path she had carved was not just for her own redemption, but a testament to resilience and intelligence. Her journey served as a reminder that strength often lies in silence, and that the most profound transformations occur away from the spotlight. As she looked out over the city from the towering heights of her newfound empire, she knew she had forged a path free from the shadows of her past. Her story was one of rebirth, a narrative rewritten not by chance, but by choice. The opulent office, with its floor-to-ceiling windows, was a symbol of her ascent. The city skyline stretched before her, a metaphor for her towering strength and resilience. She sat behind a large wooden desk, exuding calm authority, her attire a sharp emerald suit reflecting her newfound control over her life. The world saw her now, not as the woman who had been wronged, but as a formidable force, a woman of unparalleled strength, ready to forge a new path, her destiny firmly in her grasp. In the muted tension of the courtroom, the air felt thick with anticipation. David, a man once so sure of his dominance, now stood at the precipice of desperation. The veneer of confidence he had worn so effortlessly began to crack under the pressure of the proceedings. He clung to the belief that his secret dossier was the ace up his sleeve, the weapon that would secure his victory and restore his hold over the narrative. With a dramatic flourish, he presented the dossier to the judge, his voice tinged with a condescension that only thinly veiled his anxiety. He painted a picture of Emily as a woman driven by greed and manipulation, hoping to sway the courtroom with his skewed perspective. The tension was palpable, each word he spoke winding the room tighter with expectation. However, beneath his bravado, there was a flicker of doubt. It was as if he sensed the impending unraveling of his carefully constructed facade. The courtroom held its collective breath, waiting for the scale to tip, for the truth to pierce through the web of deception he had spun. But the woman standing across from him was not the same one he had so casually dismissed. She had spent years in the shadows of their marriage, learning and growing, her quiet strength a silent testament to her resilience. Now, as David attempted to wield his dossier like a weapon, she remained unflinching, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to his agitation. The moment had come for her counterattack. With a steady hand, she produced her own dossier, a meticulously compiled chronicle of David's deceit and fraudulent activities. Her attorney, a steadfast ally in her journey, began to unravel the layers of duplicity that David had so artfully concealed. As the details of his financial manipulations were laid bare, the courtroom buzzed with disbelief. Each revelation was a carefully placed blow, methodically dismantling the illusion of control David had clung to. The evidence spoke volumes, each piece meticulously aligned to expose the truth. The judge's gaze was unyielding, absorbing the weight of the revelations with a measured calm. It was clear that the tide had shifted, the balance irrevocably altered in favor of the woman who had once been seen as an underdog. David, once so sure of his dominion, now stood exposed, his desperate gambit unraveling before him. The courtroom's atmosphere was electric, the power dynamic transformed as the truth emerged with undeniable clarity. In that moment, the woman behind the simple cardigan and skirt was no longer an outsider, but a formidable force, her quiet determination a beacon of resilience and intelligence. Her journey had been long, marked by moments of doubt and heartache, yet it had led her to this pivotal juncture. She had forged a path through the shadows, her triumph not born of vengeance, but of justice. In reclaiming her narrative, she had not only freed herself from the shackles of a past defined by betrayal, but had also rewritten the story of her life on her own terms. The courtroom, once a stage for her humiliation, now stood as a testament to her strength and courage. As the proceedings drew to a close, she glanced around the room, her gaze meeting those who had doubted her. Their expressions were a mix of awe and respect, acknowledging the profound transformation that had taken place. With the truth revealed, the woman had emerged victorious, her journey a powerful reminder that strength often lies in silence, and that true power is not wielded through dominance, but through the quiet assurance of self-worth. Her narrative had been rewritten, not as a tale of victimhood, but as a testament to the indomitable spirit of a woman who had reclaimed her destiny. The courtroom, once a cathedral of tension and anticipation, now echoed with the measured voice of the judge. Each syllable fell like a gavel, marking the inexorable decline of David's carefully constructed facade. The evidence, meticulously gathered and presented, painted a damning portrait of his deceit. As the judge read through the litany of charges, David's face, once a mask of smug confidence, crumbled into disbelief. The world he had controlled with such arrogance was unraveling thread by thread, each revelation stripping away the veneer of respectability he had so artfully crafted. The courtroom's atmosphere shifted palpably, a collective realization settling over the assembled crowd. The tales of financial impropriety, of manipulation and betrayal, were not just stories of personal failure, but of a deeper moral bankruptcy. The laughter that once echoed from David and his mistress was now a hollow memory, replaced by the murmurs of incredulity and disdain from those who had once been his allies. The woman in the simple cardigan stood as a stark contrast to this spectacle of downfall. Her presence, once seemingly overshadowed by the grandeur of David's pretense, now radiated with a quiet power. She had become the architect of his undoing, each piece of evidence a testament to her strategic acumen and resilience. Her former vulnerability had transformed into an unyielding strength, a beacon of justice in the shadow of David's disgrace. As the proceedings reached their crescendo, the judge's pronouncements were met with a silence that spoke louder than any outcry. David's defeat was absolute, his reputation now a shattered remnant of its former self. The once unassailable fortress of his life lay in ruins, the legacy of his deceit laid bare for all to see. In the aftermath, as the courtroom emptied and the whispers faded, she found a moment of solitude. It was a time for reflection, a chance to sift through the remnants of her past and understand the journey that had brought her here. The memories of her life with David were a tapestry of deceit woven with moments of genuine affection. Yet, in the clarity of hindsight, she recognized the lessons those years had imparted. The relationship, once a source of love and security, had become a crucible of growth. Through betrayal, she had discovered the depths of her own resilience. The shadows of doubt and heartache had revealed a core of steel, a determination to reclaim her narrative and forge her own path. She understood now that strength was not the absence of fear, but the courage to face it head-on. Her journey was not just a tale of vengeance or retribution, but of self-discovery and empowerment. The woman she had become was forged in the fires of betrayal, each scar a testament to her endurance. She had learned that true power lay not in the illusions of control that David cherished, but in the quiet assurance of self-worth and integrity. As she left the courthouse, the world felt different. The air was lighter, the colors more vibrant. She had emerged from the shadows of her past, stepping into a future defined by her own terms. The city, with its towering skyline and bustling streets, was no longer a backdrop to her story, but a canvas of possibilities. In the days that followed, she found solace in the simple joys of life, moments of laughter with friends, the warmth of sunlight on her face, the quiet satisfaction of a day well lived. She embraced the freedom of a life, unburdened by the weight of deceit, each day a step further from the specter of her past. And so, as the city hummed with the rhythm of life, she walked forward, her heart full of hope and her spirit unbroken. The journey had been long and fraught with challenges, but it had led her to a place of peace and fulfillment. She was no longer defined by the shadows of her past, but by the light of her own strength and resilience. The air was thick with anticipation as the opulent ballroom of Carter Enterprises came to life, a haven of elegance and grandeur. Chandeliers cast a golden glow over the polished floors, a sea of glittering gowns and tailored suits flowing beneath the soft lights. The gala was a testament to opulence, a celebration that promised an evening of charm and sophistication. The guests, a mix of the city's elite, sipped champagne and exchanged pleasantries, unaware that beneath the surface, the stage was set for a dramatic revelation. She moved through the crowd with a grace that belied the storm brewing within her. In her emerald attire, she exuded confidence and authority, her once unassuming demeanor now transformed into one of quiet strength. This was her night, her moment to reclaim the narrative that had once slipped from her grasp. As the evening unfolded, her resolve was steadfast, her heart a steady drumbeat of determination. The gala was not merely a social event. It was the culmination of months of meticulous planning. She had orchestrated every detail with precision, ensuring that this would be a night to remember. The guests mingled, unaware of the impending storm, their laughter a symphony of ignorance. Yet, beneath the veneer of celebration, she held the reins of a plan that would expose the truth and shatter the illusions that had been meticulously crafted by those who had wronged her. As the evening progressed, she took her place at the center of the room, her presence commanding attention. The hum of conversation faded into silence, the guests turning their eyes toward her, curious and expectant. She could feel the weight of their gazes, but it did not deter her. This was her stage, and she was ready to perform. With a calm voice, she began to speak, her words weaving a tale of betrayal and deceit. She recounted the events that had brought her to this moment, her narrative a powerful testament to resilience and justice. As she spoke, the room was captivated, the guests hanging on her every word, their curiosity piqued by the promise of revelation. Then, with a flourish, she gestured to the large screen behind her. The lights dimmed, and the guests turned, their attention to the screen, their anticipation palpable. With a single click, the digital evidence was unveiled, images and documents flashing across the screen in a damning display of treachery and espionage. The gasps of shock and disbelief rippled through the crowd, the atmosphere electric with tension. The truth was undeniable, the evidence irrefutable. The woman who had once stood in the shadows was now the architect of her own narrative, her story a powerful declaration of justice and redemption. Amidst the chaos, the spotlight fell on a woman standing at the edge of the crowd, her face a mask of horror. She was the embodiment of arrogance and deceit, her confidence shattered in an instant. The guests watched, in stunned silence as the woman was apprehended, her protests drowned out by the weight of her own guilt. In that moment, the power dynamic shifted irrevocably. The woman who had once been a victim of deceit now held the reins of control, her triumph a testament to her perseverance and strength. The gala, once a celebration of opulence, had become a stage for justice, a testament to the woman's indomitable spirit. As the evening drew to a close, the guests departed, their conversations filled with the echoes of the night's revelations. The woman stood alone in the empty ballroom, the silence a soothing balm to her weary soul. She had faced her demons and emerged victorious, her journey one of empowerment and self-discovery. The city skyline glittered through the windows, a reminder of the possibilities that lay ahead. Her past, once a shadow that loomed over her, was now a part of the tapestry of her life, each thread a testament to her resilience. She had reclaimed her narrative, her story one of strength and redemption. As she gazed out at the city, she knew that her journey was far from over. But for now, she embraced the peace that came with victory, her heart full of hope and her spirit unbroken. The future was a canvas yet to be painted, and she was ready to create a masterpiece defined by her own terms. In the opulent office, the air was thick with anticipation. The city skyline loomed majestically through the floor-to-ceiling windows, a testament to the power and dreams that had led her here. She sat behind the grand wooden desk, exuding calm authority, her emerald suit a vivid reflection of her newfound confidence. This was her domain now, a place where she dictated the rules. The couple knelt before her on the plush carpet, their hands clasped together in a desperate plea. Gone was their former arrogance, replaced by an expression of raw desperation. Their disheveled appearance mirrored their shattered pride, and the silence in the room was punctuated only by their ragged breathing. She regarded them with a serene detachment, her heart steady. Once, they had been the architects of her humiliation, their mockery a constant reminder of her perceived insignificance. But now, as they knelt before her, the power dynamic had irrevocably shifted. She was no longer the woman they had scorned in the courtroom. She had transcended the role of victim, emerging as the architect of her own destiny. Their eyes met, and she could see the fear lurking beneath their remorse. The tables had turned, and they were at her mercy. Yet, she felt no need for vengeance. Their downfall had been of their own making, and she had no desire to prolong their suffering. Instead, she saw this moment as a testament to her resilience and growth. She had faced her demons and emerged victorious, her journey one of empowerment and self-discovery. "You have both made your choices," she said, her voice calm and steady. "And now, it's time for me to make mine." The words hung in the air, a simple statement of fact. She knew that she could deliver a decisive blow to their ambitions, but that wasn't who she was. Her victory lay not in their destruction, but in her own liberation from their shadows. She had reclaimed her narrative, and their fate was no longer her concern. As she rose from her seat, the couple remained kneeling, their expressions a mixture of gratitude and relief. She walked to the window, gazing out at the sprawling city below. The future was a canvas yet to be painted, and she was ready to create a masterpiece defined by her own terms. The possibilities stretched out before her, each one a testament to her strength and vision. With a final glance at the couple, she turned away, leaving them to contemplate their own choices. Her journey was far from over, but she was no longer bound by the past. She was free to forge a new path, one illuminated by her own light. As she stepped out of the office, the world beyond the glass doors felt different, vibrant, and full of promise. The city buzzed with life, a reminder of the endless opportunities that lay ahead. She was no longer defined by the betrayal and humiliation that had once held her captive. She had emerged stronger, her spirit unbroken, and her heart full of hope. In the months that followed, she dedicated herself to her new venture, a project that combined her keen intellect with her desire to make a difference. It was a reflection of her journey, a testament to her resilience and determination. She worked tirelessly, her focus unwavering, her passion ignited by the promise of what lay ahead. The world soon came to know her as a formidable, intelligent, and resilient woman. Her story of triumph and new beginnings resonated with many, inspiring others to reclaim their own narratives. She had become a beacon of hope, a living testament to the power of perseverance and self-belief. As she stood on the balcony of her new office, the city skyline stretching out before her, she felt a profound sense of peace. The past was a part of her, woven into the tapestry of her life, but it no longer defined her. She had found her voice, her strength, and her purpose. Her journey was one of empowerment and self-discovery, and she was ready to embrace the future with open arms. The city lights twinkled like stars in the night, a reminder of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. She was ready to create a masterpiece, a life defined by her own terms. And as she gazed out at the city, her heart full of hope and her spirit unbroken, she knew that she was finally free. As the verdict settles, tell us in the comments. Did you see the twist coming, or did it completely surprise you? Do you believe true justice is about revenge or reclaiming your power? Your thoughts matter, and your voice adds meaning to this story. And don't forget to subscribe for more gripping courtroom dramas where the underestimated rise, secrets are exposed, and justice finally speaks. The next story might be even more shocking.